Hi, I'm Joelle Kaufman, and this is Kicking Cancer's Ass. What if I told you there were things you could do right now that could improve your response to treatment up to almost 30%? Like, you do it, right? No question. So in this episode, I'm going to take you through the physical and psychological things you can do right now that are proven to improve your response to treatment and give you a much better chance of kicking cancer's ass. Plus, they're going to make the whole process of going through cancer just suck a lot less. It's about conditioning both your mind and body to absorb the shock of treatment and minimize the impact of side effects, maximize the possibility of a positive outcome. Your foe is cancer, but it's also the chemotherapy, the surgery, the recovery, all of it. Science is clear. Being physically active improves your outcomes and the quality of your life. So you need to move to maintain muscle. You need to fuel the fight. You must maintain muscle and endurance to withstand the helpful poison of chemo and recover from surgery. When facing cancer, every bit of strength you have is protective. Exercise works. My medical team encouraged me to keep exercising regularly throughout my treatment. For me, this meant continuing to lift weights, ride the Peloton, do metabolic conditioning, walk. Studies show that exercise builds your mind's ability to cope, recover, make decisions, be creative, and just have a lot of resilience. Exercise also improves the efficacy of your treatment, giving you better odds. Who doesn't want that? All right, let's talk about food. You need to think about food in terms of fueling you to compete. You can actually hear more about that in episode 22. Master the recovery drill by staying ahead of the side effects. It may feel counterintuitive to treat something, a symptom, that hasn't started. But by the time cancer-related side effects start, it's too late to stop them. So your mission in the Prehab is to establish a proactive defense to prevent the curveballs of pain, nausea, neuropathy, hair loss from ever becoming disabling. Let's talk about each of them. Pain and nausea. In both of these, you have to stay ahead of them, which means you have to take medication if you're starting to feel pain or if you start to feel a little sour stomach. Ask your oncologist for an antiemetic that blocks the vomiting reflex. And if the antiemetic you're getting isn't working, ask for a different one. Just make sure you have a tracking app to remind you to take it every 4 to 6 hours, particularly with pain management and nausea management. All right, let's talk about hair. If retaining your hair is important to you, may or may not be, and if your protocol responds to cold capping, you should explore cold capping options before you start treatment. Cold capping cools your scalp to near freezing during infusion so that hair follicles absorb less chemo. Insurance may not cover it, but there are grants available. If you want to learn more, go view episode 21. Neuropathy. This is a potential side effect. It's pins and needles. And this side effect can be permanent. So ask your medical team if you should be looking at ice socks and ice mittens to use during your infusion to prevent that kind of nerve damage. It works the same way as the cold capping, just reduces the amount of uptake of the chemotherapy in your extremities. And if your treatment can cause bone pain, talk to your doctor about taking Claritin or another drug that helps reduce bone pain. All right, let's talk about sex. You need to be proactive and ask your medical team about the sexual side effects of your treatment. Are you going to be catapulted into temporary or early menopause or experience impotence? This is not often discussed, but you should know what to expect and discuss management strategies with your doctor. Your treatment does not have to kill intimacy. You have options and, intimacy makes you feel better. So definitely don't be shy. Bring it up. Now, other things you do in bed include sleep. And the steroids given during treatment often kick in late in the day and make you jittery and unable to sleep. If it's legal where you live, ask your doctor about using THC CBD products to help manage the steroid jitters and help you sleep. Ensure they're part of your plan. In fact, if you're going to use them or try them, get them before you start treatment so you have it when you need it. By the way, if your immune system holds up well to the chemotherapy, you may be able to reduce your steroids, and that also reduces the jitters. That's what happened for me, and that was great. All right, so that's the physical prehab. Now, let's also talk about how do you prepare your mind. You might be scared. You might be anxious about this. That's all normal. But there are things you can do right now to help your mind become more resilient. Your goal here is just to eliminate or reduce the amount of stress and chaos that drains your energy. So one, let's start with building your all-star team. Cancer is a team sport. You are the captain, and you need people in the dugout who cheer, who help, who pick up some of the load. That's not just your medical team, that's your personal team. Speaking of your personal team, you want to talk about delegating some of the logistics. It's okay to ask people for practical help right now. In fact, people really want to help. They want to do something. It makes them feel better, and you just have to help them know how to help. That could include meals, driving to and from appointments. If you're a parent, asking for help with childcare, carpools to keep your children's lives as normal as possible. And if you don't want to be the logistics officer, ask a friend to take that on and coordinate all of this. People want to help. Give them a playbook. Now, another thing is to design happiness tripwires. This is basically putting on a mental coat of armor. They're a series of small, consistent, joyful moments, and they trigger positive emotional responses that you just have to feel for a moment. Tripwires include people sending you stories, jokes, texts, visiting with you, prayers, both said for you and sent to you, routines that make you happy, exercise, self-care, favorite foods. And this is scientific because neuroscience shows that positive experiences, little ones like we just talked about, trigger the release of key hormones, oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin. Those boost your decision-making, your resilience, plus they make you feel good. Aim for small and consistent versus big and occasional to maximize your steady dose of joy. Another thing you can do is create mini milestones. I celebrated the halfway point of chemotherapy. I celebrated before I had my surgery. I celebrated when the drain came out. And these weren't big events. These were small events. And a few friends came over, or my husband and I, but we celebrated during treatment. And that gave us moments to look forward to and, a nice steady dose of more joy. Unfortunately, for some period of time, this is your new normal. You're in the game. You don't get to choose the pitches you're going to see, but you will always choose the swing. So use this time right now before you start to train harder than ever. If this episode helped you, please share it. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel and go over to kcapodcast.com. You'll see all these articles and links and resources to help you and the people you love kick cancer's ass.